Okay, so I've been working at my current job for about a year and a half now, but it wasn't until about January of this year that I finally started to take advantage of the fact that I can work from home and become a remote worker. So it's taken a bit to get into the swing of things, but I think I can finally share with you tips and tricks on becoming a successful remote worker. Let's go. Okay, so my first tip for you is to get up, wake up, and get dressed as if you were still going into the office. You want to keep that momentum as if you actually had to meet somebody in person that day. So you want to take a shower, wash your face, brush your teeth, and all that good stuff, and smell good and feel good. And you want to at least look your best from the waist up. Why? Because you will find that you may have to get on Skype or any other type of video chat and have conversations with people, and you want to look presentable. I would also suggest that you make sure you're in your dress code. For me personally, my job requires that we have professional casual, so I can still wear a polo or a plain nice shirt that doesn't have any graffiti or whatever on it and look presentable to any clients that I may have to talk to. Okay, so my next tip for you is to have a schedule or a routine. So you may have a schedule where you always wake up at the same time and then you start work at 8:30 and you work until 5:30, including an hour lunch or however long you need to take a lunch. But if you don't have a schedule, then I would suggest that you have a routine at minimum. So I don't always start work at the same time, but I am required to be at work from at least 10 to 3. So I wake up at different times and I always have the same routine. I always get up, get ready for work, I fix my dog food, I fix myself some tea, and then I start work. I try to make sure that I also have lunch prepared the night before or take time off to make lunch and then make sure my dog is okay at lunchtime and throughout the day. I would also suggest that this be a great time that you think about your breaks. It is so important to have breaks and to take them. Even if you just stand up for a minute every hour, or if you take a 15-minute break every 2 hours and then have a lunch halfway through, you need those breaks. It's great to refresh your mind and to have a reset and come back at whatever problem that you may be having with fresh eyes. Take those breaks, keep your routine, and have a great schedule. So my next tip for you is to remove distractions. So you want to make sure you have a space that is clean, free of clutter, because for me personally, that is a distraction. You want to make sure that if you have a TV in your workspace that you either turn it off or you put it on something that's not going to divert your attention, like maybe the news or the music channel. I also find that sometimes it helps when I have my headphones in and I listen to study music or some type of podcast that isn't too distracting from what I'm doing. I would also suggest that if you have any pets, that you get them all set up and quiet away from your work area if you can. However, I have found that my dog likes to bark at the mail person or the Amazon people whenever they come, but I take that as an opportunity to take a break, get up, stand, move around, and release some of that tension that I might have in that moment. And I let her go ahead and bark, get it out of her system, and then I go back to work. So any distractions that you might find, start pinpointing them and removing them from your space so that you can focus on your work. Okay, speaking of offices, this next tip is about setting up that office. Now you want to make sure that you're comfortable, but not too comfortable that you're going to go to sleep. You want to make sure that you have a clean space, that you can have everything that you need. So your computer, your notepad or your phone or whatever else that you may need, pens and pencils. If you have the luxury of having a printer, you want to make sure that your printer is in there, and just have a space that you don't have to leave in order to get work done. So the only time you should be leaving that space is when you're taking a break. Otherwise, you should be focused and set on your task at hand. Also, I would think about maybe considering a standing desk. They are expensive, but there are ways around that. So you can just stack up, what are they called? Milk crates or boxes in order to get that height that you need, and put your computer on top of that. If you have a laptop, if usually when you're remote working, your job gives you a laptop, so that way you can work from home. So put that laptop on top of those crates and stand up. This will help immensely. It keeps you focused It allows you to not be sitting down and just not burning calories if you're worried about that. And it helps you to move around and use that moving energy to think. I don't know the research behind that, but standing desks are the bomb. So my next and final tip is to have a backup office. You want to make sure that you have somewhere that, again, you can focus. There aren't a lot of distractions, preferably, but you always want to have that backup option. For instance, at one point in time, my internet went out. I tried resetting the router. I tried calling in and see what was happening, but there was nothing I can do until the internet company fixed the issue. And so I had to find somewhere else to work. I think I wound up going into the office. That was my best bet. Libraries can be distracting even though they are quiet. And I don't have a lot of coffee shops around me, not in walking distance, so I figure I might as well go into the office and work from there. But for some people, having shared offices, I know there's a lot in DC, that's an option. Going to coffee houses, going to libraries, and if push comes to shove, then I would suggest going to a family or friend's house. That will increase your distractions, but take your headphones and listen to music and study music and see if that can help you around that situation if you ever find yourself there. Alright, so find me on Twitter, Instagram, or comment below and let me know how you deal with working from home successfully. I'd love to hear stories about how maybe your routine has changed or how you just manage it, maybe how you fix those distractions, and even if you have some great study music that you listen to while you work, go ahead and post that below or find me on social media, and I will see you next time. Bye!